What up? What up? What up? What's going on, America? We are in the building. Brooklyn Beards and Ball Sports Show. We back at it again. It's your boy Ron. It's your boy Don. And we got our resident Philadelphia Feebles fan in the building. None other than my man, I'm just Scrap. The Scrap Heat that we going to see tomorrow in Big D. But I digress because we got plenty of time to talk about it. Listen, y'all, if y'all been watching the show, you know your boy Scrap has been on it. He's been doing this thing. That's why we got him on Brooklyn Beards and Ball, because Scrap does his thing. The dude is fire. He comes with everything that he's got. He's got the jokes. He's got the knowledge. He's got the insight. He's got it all. And he's got a 10-1. He got a 10-2 team still, nevertheless, though. So he's still in the building. Eagles and Cowboys, they're back on deck again. But before we get into all the talk that we got to talk about, and I'm sure Don's going to talk a little bit, but he's going to throw last week's game somewhere in the middle of this conversation, I'm sure. But nevertheless, we need y'all to like, share, subscribe. YouTube people out there, my Facebook family, y'all know what you're doing. We appreciate the love y'all showing us, the comments, the love. Hit the like button. Throw everything in there so we can push these algorithms. We got a whole lot to say. Big Don, it's still your world, bro. No matter what happens tomorrow, it's still your world, unless an upset happens with the Seahawks. But nevertheless,
why couldn't you just pass it without getting ridiculous? Because you know there's not going to be an upset. You know that we're not going to lose to the Seahawks. I don't even think Geno may not even play. So, I mean, if Geno don't play, I don't know who's – They just signed somebody from the practice squad to back up the backup, so it's
Johnson.
not looking good.
They're bringing in Johnson, dude from the NFC Championship game last year.
Oh, Josh, the concussor. The dude that concusses himself. But I think this is once again, we just want to win. We want to get out the game healthy, and we're looking forward to now. Cowboys, you have one job. That one job is to win, and we become the number one seed. You got one job.
So are y'all uniting this week again?
No. There's no unite. I mean,
there's some uniting. I mean, you need
y'all beat them into submission. I told you y'all beat them into submission.
No, but listen. All right, let's get into the show, man, because I see it's about to go off the rails already, man. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, this is week 14. Very important week. I think there's a lot on the table. If you play fantasy football, this is a pivotal week. But for those that don't play fantasy football, week 14 is going to be very, very important. We got a few games that we want to discuss. Of course, later on in the show, we're going to discuss the game of the week. Last week was the game of the season. This week is the game of the week. It happens to be on Sunday Night Football, so it should be exciting. I think, depending on how it turns out, 49ers will be number one seed after the game's over. But that's not my pick yet, but we'll see what happens. But the first game that we should discuss is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Lamar Jackson has been dealing with an illness. I don't know if he has the stomach bug or whatever, but he hasn't practiced too much this week. Los Angeles Rams, they're not a great team, right? They're a 500 team, but they find ways to win. And I think Cooper Kupp has been up and down. Puka Nacua has been really good. Karen Williams has been good. So it's going to be interesting. In my estimation, I think Baltimore is the best in the AFC, clearly. But I think teams, and I'll say this, Lamar Jackson, because NFC teams don't see him much, he tends to demolish NFC teams. His record against the NFC is actually really, really good. But I do think the Rams can be a frisky team against them. They would have to, if they can establish the running game, which is, and of course, they have really good receivers. If those receivers can kind of, create some space, if Stafford could be upright long enough to get the ball to, his playmakers, they might make a game of it. What do you guys say?
That's how I feel about this game, right?
Yeah.
Snooze fest. I feel like this game is going to be a snooze fest. I mean, I didn't watch much of Baltimore this year, but what I did watch of it, it's like they have very few holes in their defense. They got good linebackers. Their defensive line is good, and their secondary is good. So I really don't see how the Rams can pull this game out. But what I will say is, I was talking to another friend of mine, because we do pools every week, and I said this is going to be a weird week with pools. Like, a lot of favorites are going to lose this week, and I know somebody's team that's a favorite this week that's going to lose, but a lot of favorites are going to lose this week. So I don't know if this is going to be one of those upset wins. But I really, on paper, I don't see the Rams winning. But like you said, they find ways to win games sometimes. They're 500 because they do scrap out some close victories. But I really see Baltimore. I think Baltimore wins by 2 scores. I mean, I could be wrong. I was wrong last week, but I could be wrong. But I think Baltimore wins by 2 scores. Easily.
Okay. For the record, I'll just say this: Baltimore is a 7-point favorite. Over/under is 39.5. That's just for the record.
Okay.
What do you say, Rod?
No, I'm with you guys on that. I think Baltimore should handle business. They are home. I mean, the Rams, they're on a little 3-game win streak there, but I just don't think the defense of Baltimore is going to really, fold in any kind of way. I think the Rams averaging like 22 points a game. Rams and the Baltimore Ravens only give up about 15 points a game. And you would think, though, that the Rams would be a little bit more explosive. But when you think about, Nakua having the kind of rookie season he's having, Kupp has been a little up and down this year. It seems as if, I haven't watched a lot of the Ram games, but he was hurt. I know he was out a little bit, of course, the game when
and
they
Williams
played
just
us.
came back also.
Who's that?
Williams, he was out too.
Yeah, Williams was out too. So they haven't really had an opportunity, I think, really to allow that offense to play to its full potential, because they got weapons. So, but to only have, again, 22 points on the average, it's not really a lot of points for an offense that, to some degrees, you would think still could put up some points. But, I like Baltimore. They're at home. And like you said, Lamar, his record against NFC teams is really, really good. I think the last time these two teams played, which was last year, a little different team, but I think Baltimore put a whipping on them. So I like Baltimore in this game. I don't think I can really add a whole lot.
What I don't understand is how come we didn't receive a fruit basket or something, because we actually traded Baltimore that first round pick that they drafted Lamar Jackson with, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's neither here nor there. Bird brothers looking out for birds. Bird brothers looking out for
brothers.
Bird brothers.
Bird brothers.
Well, it hasn't looked good for the Bird brothers so far. I mean, listen, we got five games against Birds so far. It's been duck season, and yeah, we've been sniping all the Birds so far. So we're 2-0 against the Birds, 3 more to go, and we'll see what happens. But you guys have a score for me?
I would say for me, I like Baltimore in this game. I'm going 35. I'm going like 35-21.
21. Ooh. I was gonna say I'm gonna say 27-10.
Oh wow.
I don't see the Rams scoring that many points.
I'll predict a defensive score for the Rams, though. They'll get a defensive score, a special team score. That's how they'll get that additional 7 points.
Okay, well, I'm very tempted to put Baltimore on upset alert, but I won't. I will say this. I have Baltimore winning 28-24. I have it as a very close game. Under a touchdown. But I do think it will go over ultimately. I know on the Northeast, they're experiencing some weather issues. I don't know if that's going to affect Baltimore and the Rams for that matter. Okay. Let's move on to another great game. Seattle versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, because of the Geno case, whether he's playing or not, I know they just signed a quarterback from the practice squad to possibly act as the backup to the backup. The 49ers are a 13.5-point favorite. The over-under is 46.5. I think we sustained an injury to Armstead. and we made some moves and we beefed up. We got a few extra players to add to the team, but I think we're pretty deep. Let him get the rest that he needs to recover. This game, we don't take any divisional opponent lightly. And prior to this, I thought it was going to be a closer game. I think when we ended our last show, it was like 10 points or 10 and a half. It skyrocketed up to 13 and a half with the uncertainty of Geno Smith. But I still would think that the game is going to be relatively close. I do like the Niners, of course, obviously. But I'm not sure if we are a 2-touchdown. I felt 300% confident last week that we were going to be 2-touchdown, 2-score winners, and it turned out. And I didn't even want to bring that up, Scrap. But I felt confident that was the case. This week, I think it's going to be, I think we'll win, but we won't cover. We'll see. But I'll give you my score, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I think this game's going to be a laugher. With even with having a healthy Geno, just the fact that it's a divisional game, that probably would have made it like more interesting. But now that I don't know what's wrong with Geno. I didn't hear anything. What's his problem?
It might still be a shoulder issue. He was dealing with a shoulder issue for the last couple of weeks. I don't know if it's a shoulder contusion.
Throwing shoulder or?
Yeah, it was on the elbow, I think it was, or something like that.
Oh, his throwing arm?
It was on his throwing arm. He got hurt in the game before he played D, whoever that was. I can't remember. I think it was the game before.
Go ahead,
Scrap.
Did he play?
No, it wasn't against Cowboys. It was the game before they played the Niners, actually.
Oh, okay. I see now. I see San Fran getting the defensive score in this game. So I'll probably go ahead and put that on my ticket.
Drew Lock is the quarterback, or whoever they signed up from the practice squad. Yeah, then you're right. They'll probably be a defensive score.
You know what? Going through these games until we get to the meat and potatoes of it. Remember on Batman when the Joker was looking at the pages, he's like crap. That's how I feel right now, man.
That's how you feel about these games.
See, this is the problem. Yeah. You got to give everybody some love. You got to respect some other teams, because you really don't know who you're going to face in the playoffs. There's teams that get hot at the right time, squeak in. They might be one-hitter quitters, catch a team at the right time, and anything is possible, right?
That's how sports goes. I understand.
That's how it goes. Certainly San Francisco and Seattle. I mean, we know you're going to see San Francisco again. One of your teams is coming to the Bay in a month or so. So we know. So give us a little respect. You're going to have to travel and see us.
It wasn't a disrespect thing. It was just
I mean, y'all not. It's just really a cupcake game in for all intents and purposes. I mean, I agree with Scrap. You know what this reminds me of? It's like a TJ Warren moment. I feel like this is a TJ Warren moment. When I told you Donald was trying to really hype up the show one episode about the return of TJ Warren.
TJ Warren,
right?
It wasn't
and
TJ
it's
Warren.
Like, I mean, he wanted to have a whole blown. I told you it was going to be a documentary on TJ Warren. Like, this game is.
I think TJ Warren was a good player, though.
No, he was. He was. I mean, we was going to break down his history, his family. We was going to just read Wikipedia and just go through his life.
I was going to start with his childhood?
Yeah,
So this is the question I have. Yeah. You played Seattle, right? Was it a walk in the park?
No, it was not.
If I remember correctly,
DK
Metcalf, and I didn't want to do this. Metcalf had 3 touchdowns on you guys.
He did. He had a good first half. He did. He had a good first half. He did. He had a good first half. He did. Yeah, he played.
You guys barely won, though, right? Did you win by more than a touchdown?
Hey, I'm gonna pull a page out of Scrap's book, and I'm just gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what Scrap would tell you. We won. We still won at the end of the day.
Okay,
but of course that never applies to Dallas, though. Dallas is not allowed to win close games. Of course, we don't get that same kind of like.
But he just played a Cowboys victim card.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, of course.
America's team. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
You can't be America's team and then want sympathy. You're not going to get both. Not on this show.
No, but I mean,
not in. You know what? They do got a new Uno game where it's like a card and you get to write whatever you want it to be on there. You just play the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, because no, but here's what D's trying to do, Scrap. You got to know D, and I know you know D. So you should know this. This is D way of trying to give more juice to this game than what it deserves, right? By saying, "Oh, Dallas, didn't y'all struggle against Seattle's a formidable opponent. They, this is a game that's got some real meaning. This is a game." Now he just told us when we did the intro of the show, when I told him, unless y'all get upset by the Seahawks, right? You know what I'm saying? But these that's not going to happen, right?
I said we're not going to get upset, but
right. So then what are we talking about?
All I'm saying is, please respect the level of competition. Your team played the same team that you're trying to downplay and barely won the game.
I'm downplaying the game. I mean, the game is, in comparison to the 49ers, I mean, I can't sit here and be like, you know what? The Seahawks really may have a chance, especially when they're not going to Kenneth Walker again. He's not playing again. And right. So then why are we? So what are we trying to fabricate some kind of interest in the Seahawks?
Well, there's no juice to be had from this game. Like he just said, the quarterback is gimpy and
exactly.
Yeah, so it's really no juice.
All right. I get it. Let me hurry up and go through these games because you only got I'm telling you, man. Cats will only want to talk about who they talk about. This is supposed to be a sports show. Now, somebody told me, right? And I won't say who it was. We gotta be, we can't just be homers and we just can't pick the teams that we like. And we have to talk about other than, because then we need to change this show to
said, let's not be
Cowboys, Eagles, Niners show. Like, I mean,
right. No, but what I'm saying is that I told D, I said, no, when I say let's not be homers, let's make sure we're being objective in our assessment of our teams. You know what I'm saying? That we like. Part of that would be do not besmirch a team that we are playing when you barely beat them yourselves. That's what I'm saying. But that doesn't make Seattle any more formidable for this game from Sunday. The quality of that team is lessened by who they play. Is that what you're saying? I can agree with that. That's fair. I playing with Dallas, it's competitive. Hence why me and Scrap are trying to move the show along because that's no problem.
I'm not even trying to crap on the game.
We beat you guys both by 4. We put up 42 on both of you guys.
So I'm saying,
if that's the case, every game.
What are you attacking me for?
See?
No, because you and him were trying to unite against me. So
I would never unite with them.
I feel I'm in a corner. I just got to come out.
He's coming out swinging. Now he's like, you 42. You get a 42. You get a 42. Everybody gets 42. Kiara. Hey, Dallas, come here. 42. Right. Everybody gets 42.
42 for everybody.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to rush it along. I was just saying, like, it's really nothing here with this game.
Now, Rod is.
Oh, I know he is.
But that's okay. Somebody's head is going to be down on Monday. Somebody's head is going to be hanging low on Monday.
Well, he's already on the bottom, so.
No.
Okay, that might be a sign of things to come. So I guess you guys don't even want to talk about a score on this. So forget it. We want to talk about the score. We'll disrespect San Francisco, who is soon to be the number one.
I'll tell you what the score is going to be. 42 to something.
Yeah.
We've met our quota of hitting 42s.
It's not 42.
We've tapped out. We put up 42 on enough teams. So I think we're not going to put up 42.
I'm going to say 33-9.
Oh my goodness.
What?
33-9. That is that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the score? When did y'all beat? How much y'all beat them by the last 2 weeks ago? What was that score?
Two scores. I think we beat them by 18 points. I think might have been 18
Let me see.
points.
I'll tell you right here. Oh, it's 31-13. So Scrap's really not that far off. So yeah, it was 31-13. And so
31-13.
Yeah. I think they're going to run roughshod on them, and it will be probably another Sam Darnold sighting. Like.
Yeah. So I'm going 35-16. I'll go
35-16.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it'll be.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna look at it a little differently. I'll say that we win 30-17.
30-17?
Yeah, 30-17. We'll put up 30 points.
So it's gonna be
you know what the talk has been though, D.
30-21. How about that? 30-21. I want to admit make a amendment to it. 30-21.
So you're saying that game's gonna be close?
I've said that already. I've said that.
Is that
already.
what you were saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna blow them out.
Why do you think that? Well, I'm just curious. Let's pause for a minute before we move on. Why do you think that?
Well,
Mr.
I'll
Donald?
say this: Pete Carroll is, whether I like him or not, he's a good coach. It's a divisional game. We're playing the same team in within the last 3 weeks, so we kind of had a rubber match with them. We played, whipped up on them, then whipped up on another team, not to be mentioned, and now we're playing them again. So I think even though the quarterback is potentially compromised and he's not going to play, I do think that there is a chance that they either try to prolong drives, try to get their running game going. They're probably going to try every bit of trickery that they can think of or manufacture.
Is Charbonnet still hurt too?
No, he's
Charbonnet.
playing.
I think he's trending towards playing.
Still had ribs though, right? He had a rib injury, right?
No, that was Kenneth Walker. Walker,
Yeah,
I think,
and he's not playing. That's their best back. Kenneth Walker won't be playing. He's out.
So I think that they're going to probably try to do when you're outmatched or overmatched. I think you have to fall back on some type of trick plays, fake punts, all kind of stuff, just to kind of keep the element of surprise to keep you in the game. So I think that might be a possibility. They may do some unconventional stuff. That being said, it might be a cosmetic touchdown at the end, but overall, I don't think that we'll win by 14 points. That's what you have to win by in order to cover the spread. So I don't think we'll win by 14 points or 2 touchdowns, if you will. We may win by 9 or 10 points, as long as we win and exit healthy. That's all I care about, because our goals are February. No style points. We don't have to run it up on anybody. We don't have to prove anything, but we're going to do our job. We're going to get the W. And then we now see what the Cowboys do at, 8:20 Eastern. See if they can hold up their end of the bargain. But we got one more game before we get to the game of the week. Now, this game is important. Kansas City, Buffalo traveling to Arrowhead to play Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a 1-point favorite. Over-under is 48.5. Now, I think Kansas City overall has looked terrible. They have not. You get what you pay for. We have said this before. They did not invest in the wide receivers, and it shows. And I get probably if you put them on a lie detector test and said, man, don't you wish you would have paid up or paid whatever it took to keep Tyreek? They probably would say yes. Travis Kelce, I know he's a little long in the tooth, but he's not looking the way Travis Kelce usually does. Pat Mahomes, who is usually one of the top quarterbacks, he's actually behind maybe in passer yards to Sam Howell and some of the other ones. I mean, he just hasn't looked good. There's been a lot of drops. Some teams have benefited from those drops, i.e. Philly. They benefited from a drop here and there. If there were some stable receivers that could actually catch the ball, their run game, Pacheco is out tomorrow. So now you have CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and McKinnon, so he's a good pass catching back. So you have those two filling in for Pacheco. So it's going to be interesting. Buffalo, this is a must win. So maybe with the lack of I should say this. It's going to be interesting how Buffalo responds. The coach had to answer a lot of questions this week. He was under pressure between the controversial references to September 11th. Also, I don't know how true it is, but I think he went to a Halloween party in a questionable costume. I think he was looking like Al-Qaeda. So it was a few things that he did that was questionable that he had to answer to. He had to apologize to the team and apologize for the references to that. So it's going to be interesting how it all turns out. What do you guys say?
Oh, okay. Well,
y'all want to talk about any game, or y'all just waiting for?
No.
I'll just give analysis on all the games so we get to Philly and yo, you cats is just like pat me on the shoulder when he's talking about Philly and Dallas. I'm like, yo, we do have to talk other games. People are watching this. There's people watching now.
Hey,
and
Rod,
they not only want to
when
talk about $1 million.
like this.
Right.
But no, with the Buffalo and the Chiefs. What Don was saying about the Chiefs and their wide receiver situation, like they should have kept Tyreek because he took a lot of pressure and attention off of Travis Kelce. So Kelce was able to be the underneath, mid-range guy, and of course Tyreek was the long ball threat.
Right.
So when you don't have that, they can pay more attention to Kelce and key in on the run more because they know that, if he throws the ball deep, it's a good chance they're going to drop it. So the wide receivers are horrible. But I told Don, I said, they remind me of the Eagles back when Andy Reid was our coach. We had a good tight end, good running back, good quarterback, but our wide receivers were horrible. A bunch of body catchers, just like the Chiefs have. They have body catchers. Like I said last week, it's two kinds of catchers. It's hand catchers and it's body catchers. So you can't really have a long ball threat and a body catcher unless the ball just like drops in and he turns around and catches it. Because Valdez-Scantling, he was like way behind the defense and he tried to hand catch it and he couldn't. Like it's just like I said then and I'll say it now. You get what you pay for. So Kelce not having, Mahomes not having that security blanket in Kelce because he don't have a deep threat is that's what they signed up for. That's what they paid for. Like they figure that Mahomes and Kelce can be the end all be all and they'll score no matter what because they're the Chiefs and Mahomes is a magician and it's catching up to him. It's really catching up to him. So the Sky Moores and the Valdez-Scantlings and the Kadarius Tonys, they're like Sky Moore and Kadarius Tonys are really like kick returners that they got in there. They're just like, they're special teams players if you ask me. So I don't really see them. I can see them winning this game because Buffalo is who Buffalo is. They more times find a way to lose a game. I say they're good at snatching victory out of the jaws of defeat. The other way around. Snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory, I should say. They find a way to lose games at the end, and I don't see this being any different. And they're playing in Arrowhead.
Yeah, in Arrowhead. Yes.
Oh yeah. So I can see the Chiefs winning a close game, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost too. But I can see the Chiefs winning like maybe a 3 or 4 point game. Yeah, I can see that.
All right. So go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, no, I actually got the Buffalo Bills winning this game. I think they'll win. I like to see them win. I mean, they're right now as it stands, they're outside of the playoff picture. But I think they find a way to win. I think and the reason why I say this game to me is more important for Buffalo than it is the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I think, will still win their division, which at the end of the day, if you're the Chiefs, that's really what you're focusing on, right? I mean, it's not like you're overlooking your opponents, but you know that all we got to do, guys, is win the West, and we're in, okay? And then let everything else take care of itself. As Pat Mahomes said, I think it was earlier this week, I've been on a 6-4 team and still won the Super Bowl, right? So regular season records, wherever you're at, and Scrap, you said it earlier in our chat, right? January, everybody's 0-0, right? So that's if you're a Super Bowl caliber team like the Chiefs, that's what you're thinking. So you want to win this game, and I think this is a game where you may want to try if you're Andy Reid. I would like to see Pacheco run more. I like to see them do some. He's out. Pacheco's out. Oh, okay, out. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Okay,
yeah, so you're gonna have to go to the practice facility to see him run more.
And you know what? That just goes to show you that my whole.
Did you say that and you opened up that Pacheco was out?
My bad. Muting, he's just not only is he going through the motions, he is muting me until he sees my lips. He reads my lips and I say Philly versus Dallas.
The running back to my mind is Gainwell and Swift. I'm thinking about other guys. I'm not thinking about Pacheco. But I'll just say this. I'll say this. Oh, well, that's pretty bad. But again, I think the Chiefs, this game, Buffalo needs to win. The Chiefs could afford to lose this game to some degree. No one can afford to lose a game in December. But if there's a team with a little more latitude and leverage, it would be Kansas City in my mind. I agree with you guys. I mean, you could debunk the fact that they didn't sign Tyreek Hill and say, man, they should have done it. They did win a chip without Tyreek. So, they proved that they can't win without him. But if you're talking long range as far as having a dynasty, that's what hurt them. They definitely compromised the ability to really be a formidable real strong favorite to win the Super Bowl every year, at least coming out of the AFC conference, if they would have kept a Tyreek. But not having Tyreek, now they're just like pretty much everybody else, and they're going to have to rely on Patrick Mahomes. And to your point, Scrap, I agree. Stuff is catching up. You know what I'm saying? You know, what I think you saw about another team when you had mentioned that. I think if I'm not mistaken, you know, I'm not paying a lot of attention until we get to the game. You know what I'm saying?
He's not either.
But yeah, I'm not really. So I feel like I'm kind of all over the place right now, really. But you know,
Lawrence Taylor,
yeah,
I know he had some off the field issues. I think you brought that up in the show.
Right,
like,
listen,
you here?
I'm just not. I don't know. I'm just look. I like the Bills to win. I'm picking the Bills.
That might be fear.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go.
I hope not.
You know what I'm saying?
No
fear.
No fear. He's scared.
No fear. Only team that makes me nervous is the Niners. That's it. Not the Eagles. Eagles don't have me nervous. Not at all. Not in the least bit. Not in the least bit. But I am I get nervous about the Niners. But go ahead.
They did win a chip without Tyreek, but you got to remember, they had some veteran receivers that at least could catch the ball, right? They had Juju Smith-Schuster, right?
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney played decent, especially in the Super Bowl. He caught a touchdown.
Yeah, he did. He did play well in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he did.
So I think overall, you got to have at least somebody that push comes to shove. If they take Travis Kelce away, and Travis Kelce has never been super fast, right? He's but he knows how to get open. But if you could bracket him and kind of reduce the amount of time, put some pressure on Mahomes, bracket Kelce, you got to have another receiver over the top that Mahomes can keep the defense honest. And right now, they don't have that. They don't have it. So the receivers that they have, very good assessment. They're more special team type of receivers. Somebody just waving and catching it and, call fair catch.
Right.
They're not really,
special
they're not, So they, and just, even if you didn't want to pay for Tyreek, right? You could have gotten, what's his name? DeAndre Hopkins. There are other receivers that were available. You don't think DeAndre Hopkins on that team, they would be dangerous? The other thing that you have to concern yourself with is that Patrick Mahomes, although, yes, they're going to win the AFC West, they have always had the number one seed. So that's a bit concerning. It won't go through Arrowhead this time.
No,
it could go through, I think, Baltimore. Others think Miami, but it's not going to be Arrowhead. So, any way you cut it, that's going to be, unfamiliar territory for Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. But let's get a score going, and then we'll go to what you all been waiting for, what these two guys really want to talk about. What's your score on the Kansas City Buffalo game?
I got Buffalo winning 37-35, late field goal.
37-35.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll take about I'll say Kansas City 28-26. How they get 26, I have no idea, but that's the score I'm picking.
And you have Kansas City winning, right?
Yes, I have Kansas City winning.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. Actually, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. 31-28.
31-28. Buffalo, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think Josh. Yeah, they just can't lose, son. I don't.
Well, they can lose.
They can, but
they can lose.
And I have a Donspiracy theory on it, but I'm not even going to. You guys don't want to hear that. So let's go on to the next game. No, you don't. We're going to talk about the game that you guys have been, because Rod has been on life support until this has come up. He has been just propped up on the chair waiting for. All right, we're gonna get to what he
break
wants
open the smelling salt.
I'm telling you exactly. I'm like, yo, clear. Somebody hit his chest. Bring him back to life.
Right.
All right.
Philadelphia
Eagles traveling to Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are 3.5-point favorites, over under 51.5. So it's the highest scoring game, projected highest scoring game of the week. It happens to be Sunday Night Football. This should be a very exciting game. Now, what's on the line? Because the 49ers handled business last week in a complete rout of Philadelphia. They are now 10-2. Cowboys have made their way through a few high school and middle school teams. So now they're 9-3. If they win, Eagles, when they faced each other, this will be their second meeting. They've already faced each other. The Eagles handle business, right? Dak Prescott, someone will say that they beat themselves, but ultimately at the end of the game, there was a loss. This game gives not only the Cowboys an opportunity to now be tied with the Eagles in first place, or still keep it very much alive that they could still win the NFC East. A loss by Philly and a win by the Niners, who are also 9-3, would now, who we're currently the number 2 seed, we would be the number 1 seed in the NFC. So this is a very pivotal game. Now, of course, that would just be for week 14. This is not the end of the season. Seeding is not locked in as to what it would be going into the playoffs. But for that, it would be interesting to see how, number one, the Cowboys play with we've seen how they fared with a very good opponent, a great opponent. We've seen how they fared with bottom feeders, right? They typically take care of the bottom feeders, not so much against the teams that are high caliber. This would be interesting to see how the Cowboys respond to a high caliber team, a team that currently has the best record in the NFL. And this would be also interesting to see how the Eagles respond to a complete, utter just destruction from last week. Will they be able to respond? Will they be able to bounce back, have that grit that they had in those prior games where they just know how to win regardless of if it's pretty or not? Will they be able, because this game, ultimately, if they win this game, given the rest of their schedule, they're pretty much locked in. They've won the East. This game, in order for it to really mean something moving forward for the following weeks, the Cowboys have to win. If they don't win, the East is lost. What do you guys say?
Go ahead, Rod.
Are you alive for this one? I thought we waited.
Ahead,
No, well, we were
this.
kind of going back to see who wanted to go first. Listen, I'm gonna say this very simply. All right, we already know what's at stake. I think enough has been said regarding the magnitude of the game. We know this is obviously a division rivalry game, and quite frankly, both teams need to win for various reasons, for various intentions. We already know what's at stake. For me, what I'm looking at for the Cowboys is we got to make sure that the right side gets help, because Steele gave up 12 pressures in the last game and 4 sacks. So we've got to make sure we get him help on that right side. If Dak can get the time to throw, 5 sacks we gave up in that game, okay? There's a lot of things that were loose in that game that Dallas has the ability to correct, obviously. We know what's compromised on the back end of Philly as far as their defense. I'm not so much worried about us moving the ball, but I am concerned about those kind of sacks and plays that Philly can make, which they did make in the first game. So we got to make sure we take care of that on the right side. I'm concerned about Steele. Steele has been looking better since that Philly game, but it's different when you got Reddick and these other guys on the other side. And so it's a better front that the Eagles have that we're up against. So we got to make sure we give Steele the help that he needs. I thought that we also got to look at how we got to get Micah the pressure that he's got to get. Mulata kind of handled him for all intents and purposes in the last game. Micah didn't play well. He didn't really get the level up. He only had like 1 or 2 pressures the most. Okay, and then the sack that he got, really Hurts gave up because his knee got banged and he just really gave himself up. So it wasn't really a legit sack. So I'm looking at these nuances with Dallas that I think could make or break the game. It's in those details there. We know Jalen is not running the ball to that level because of the injury. He's not really taking off. We understand what Bosa was talking about with just rushing 4 and let Jalen read the defense, which everyone still thinks that's a weakness of his, to read defenses and to be able to hold the ball and wait for things to develop. When he gets the ball out quickly, it's easy to read. He can do what he needs to do in that sense. And I think you play to his strength like that. I don't know how DQ is going to do it. I know that they got Goddard back. Marquise Bell will probably be playing him, and we're gonna have to make sure because he actually did get off a little bit in that game, even on the play he got hurt. So it's still how
broke his arm.
Yeah, until we broke his arm. Well, that's what we're supposed to do.
He wrapped his arm up and dropped down on it.
Well, I mean, you mean when Fred Warner did that to Tony Pollard in the playoff game? That's the same thing he did and broke Pollard's leg. Yeah, I understand. It's the same thing. You're right. But the truth is, I ain't mess with you, D. It's the nuances like that we have to make sure we minimize and that we don't give you guys the ability to make those kind of plays that y'all are going to make. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, although I like to see what I would love for Dallas to blow them out. But like I said, we will win the game. The Eagles have not swept us since 2011. There's always been a split or Dallas is going to sweep them, one or the other. It hasn't happened yet, and it's not going to happen now. Dallas will win the game, but we just got to still make sure we tighten up some things. I just don't think that secondary is a problem. It's not going to get better. I don't care what they do, what adjustments they make. That secondary, it's been trash. It's going to stay trash. It's not a championship caliber defense. This Eagle team is not the team of last year. They're nowhere as close as they were. They find ways to win, but I think to your point, Scrap, this is where the Eagles are going to find out it's going to get tougher and tougher, and you're not going to be able to just win with the grit that you guys have had. Not when, not against the Cowboys come tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a different outcome altogether. So I got Dallas obviously winning this game, but it's the nuances for me. That's what we got to do in those points that I just made. That's my feeling on it.
All right, well, I hear you about the nuances, but I'm going to go with the old answers on this one. What I feel is that, like, I hear what you're saying about, we're not going to, we haven't swept you since this and that. But what you got to look at is that every year, by the time the second game comes, the division is pretty much decided. So it's normally a rest of starter situation. Last year it wasn't, but, we both didn't have our quarterbacks for one game, right? Like Dak didn't play the first one.
Those games, last year.
Dak didn't play the first one, and Hurts didn't play the second one. Now this year the game means something, so it's all hands on deck. Okay, so all that y'all are going to get swept, and you're going to be very, very upset about it. Okay, I just want you to understand that. See, the best thing that could have happened for y'all is if we would have won last week. But see, being that we lost last week. Well, not even lost. Being that we got destroyed last week,
it's a better description. Yeah.
We picked ourselves up off like I said in the chat, we up off the canvas. The swelling went down. Now we back at it. Okay, and it's just your dumb luck that your team is the next team in our way. Because, like I said last week, see, this is why you don't lose games to a winless Arizona team for moments like this. When it's late in the season and you lose a game, I told Don. That's called first place insurance. We have insurance on first place. We beat up on the teams we were supposed to. So when we get a tough match and we lose it, it really doesn't change anything. Okay. So now with that being said, we're going to get back to business, or what Drewski say, we're going to stand on business. Okay. We're going to go down to lowercase.
Oh yeah. Because Metcalf said the same thing too, but in sign language. But he still took the L. But go ahead. Yeah, that's
Metcalf.
Cool.
Oh, he could have been the same thing. He could have been an Eagle, but we didn't draft him. But no, he's not an Eagle. He has nothing to, just like all the 49er fans that was just like all the Cowboy fans that were celebrating the 49ers win last week. Y'all not them. We didn't play y'all last week. We play y'all this week. Right?
Absolutely.
We play y'all this week. So what's going to happen is, okay, we're going. Oh, did you see y'all got a prepackaged excuse? I told Don, I said, see, excuses come pre-packed now. Now apparently the ref that's reffing tomorrow, we never lost when he reffed and all this. So now
I heard about that early in the week. Yeah.
Okay, so now y'all putting y'all winning streak up against our winning streak. We got our ref, y'all got y'all field. Whose winning streak is whose streak is more? We're gonna be more intact.
Well, again, that's only gonna make my point. If y'all happen to win based on a call or two, then we know then it's all Donspiracy from that point. So yeah, you're right. So that'll be y'all.
Don't try to lean on Donspiracy.
That's part of a Donspiracy.
He's still trying to side with the 49ers. He's still trying to side with the 49ers.
No, I'm siding with the 49ers. Don't worry. We'll see the 49ers NFC Championship. But go ahead. I'm going to let you finish your thoughts. Go ahead. Finish your point.
Yeah, well, anyway, I feel like tomorrow we're going to get back to what, our bread and butter. I think we're going to run the ball a lot because I'm looking at the passing Jalen threw the ball like upwards of 50 times last week. I think 47 to be exact. He's not a 47 pass, quarterback. He's just like Purdy. He's good within like the 20 to about 30, give or take. And that's I'm just being real. Like, it's not too many quarterbacks that. Yeah, I said
someone
Purdy.
brought up why did you bring up Purdy? Like,
because I'm saying that Purdy what?
That's true.
Purdy,
though. He's right.
No, what do you mean that's true?
Purdy is
Purdy's
not
a 45. Purdy
right,
doesn't. Yeah,
he doesn't have to. That's why. It's not because he can't.
He can't. Just check his track record. When y'all were down CMC and he had to throw the ball, he was throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game. Those were the games y'all was losing. Like, it's okay. It's not a lot of quarterbacks that's 30 to that's 40 to 50 time throwers a game and successful. It just don't happen. That's not the league that we have right now for these quarterbacks. That's why they got the more my fault, the more heavy like running options, and I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to run the ball. I think you're going to get a healthy dose of Swift and Gainwell, maybe even a little. Well, we're saving Boston Scott because I need my touchdowns against the Giants. So, but you are going to see a lot of DeAndre Swift. You're going to see a lot of Kenneth Gainwell, and you're going to see a lot of Dallas Goedert. See what we was missing with him was the underneath. Like, we didn't have nobody underneath. And that's why we were sending AJ across the middle a lot on the 49ers, and not let him, get on the outside with the guy that he's really does. So Goddard will be back. So underneath we're good. It's just the only thing that I worry about with Dallas is no, I don't really worry about nothing with Dallas. We're going to beat y'all.
You know what?
Yeah. I was trying.
What? It hurts him. Trust me, there's a lot he's worried about, but he just can't. It's really not. He just can't say it. He can't say it. He knows. Really not.
He knows. You see how long I
who's the pivotal player? If you guys had to pick a pivotal player on your team and a pivotal player on the opposing team, could potentially determine the outcome of the game? Scrap, since you were talking, go first. Who's the pivotal player on your team, and then a pivotal player on
my team,
the Cowboys?
I think it all starts with our quarterback. Like, depending on if how he's running the ball and seeing the defense or whatever, like reading it. But I think long as he makes good decisions, I think we'll be fine. Now on the defense, I think the only player that you really have to worry about is probably, I'm gonna say, either between Lawrence or Parsons. It's definitely one of those up front guys. I don't think it's the back guys, Bland, even though he's having like an all world year, by Cowboy standards. I don't think that he's the guy that you fear. Like, he's not the guy that you fear. He's the guy that you attack. You attack him. And that's exactly why DK Metcalf stopped cooking last week, because they took him off DK Metcalf and put him on Lockett. So they said, oh, he's on Lockett, so now we're going to throw to Lockett. Like, he's good, but he's not the guy that you think he is. Like, he makes good plays, but he's tried a lot. They try him a lot. Just go. I didn't do it, but I'm sure you can. Just go and look at his targets and how many times they target him again.
Well, he still leads the league in QBR rating against. So that only makes the point even more to the fact that he is a legit corner. Because if he's leading the league according to PFF stats with the highest, or rather the lowest QBR against out of all starting corners, and he's targeted as often as he is, that just goes to show you that he's legit. He just had one bad game, like every corner has had. Metcalf got off on him. It's no sweat. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? But he's still that corner. He's still a good corner.
He's a good corner, but like Don was saying weeks ago, if you're that kind of corner, like a Darrelle Revis or a Richard Sherman or or even a Champ Bailey, like, people don't try you a lot. They try him a lot.
They only tried him a lot because this is his first time in the corner. Remember, he was a slot corner all last year and still had 5 picks. Then this year, after Diggs got hurt, they moved him to the outside. The first game he played outside was actually against the Cardinals. And mind you, we had like 3 starters on our offensive line that did not play that game, by the way. But Bland being out there in the corner as a second year 5th round draft pick, mind you, okay? Like, you can't take away from the fact of how well he's played this year. Stepping in for an all-pro corner like Diggs and still lead the league in interceptions with 6 pick sixes or 5 rather. Come on, bro. There's no way.
we're going to put this excuse to bed. We're going to ball it up and throw it away. You said you had people that did not play. Listen, an excuse to me is like you saying we would have won if the world was perfect. If the world was perfect and all of our players was there, we would have won the game. The world is not perfect. That's why they have backups. They're NFL players. Like John said, they have on a uniform, so you can't use that. You can't say
no. I was just pointing it out. I mean, my point wasn't even about the game. I was just pointing out that Bland, that was his first game playing as the starting corner. Remember, he was a backup player. That's that's why it goes back to what you even see with Purdy. Purdy, the way Purdy came in last year, played, got to a championship, and then Purdy is playing well again, right? Now but what was the thing about Purdy? Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, right? But to be Mr. Irrelevant, to play at that level better than guys who were drafted in the first round, at some point you can't take away the fact that he's a good quarterback and that he's playing well. So that's the same thing with Bland. You can't take that away from Bland. Bland is a fifth-round draft pick playing better than Todd. He's definitely better than Slay and Bradbury without a shadow of a doubt. And those dudes are Pro Bowlers and all pros.
They're old.
Doesn't matter. They all on him. So was Gilly. Gilly's old too, and Gilly's still playing.
And you see nobody talked about it.
And he shut down Metcalf in the second half too. And the only reason why Metcalf got that little,
they just stopped throwing that. They just stopped throwing to him because they moved Bland. I just said that.
No, I get your point, but they still was trying to target him and still couldn't get no completions that way. Still, because Gilly still played well against Metcalf.
Can you stop calling him Gilly? Because Gilly is from Philly. The real Gilly is from Philly. Call him Gilmore.
Who's the real Gilly? Who's the real Gilly?
You know who Gilly is.
Who's Gilly? I don't know what real Gilly. Who's that?
I
don't know who that is. Who's Gilly?
He's talking about Gilly the Kid. Gilly the Kid.
Oh, Gilly the Kid. Okay, that must be a Philly thing. I don't know who Gilly is. I don't know Gilly the Kid.
You know who Gilly is.
But to answer, so let me answer Don's question real quick. I'll just say this though. For me, it's Goddard. Goddard to me is the difference maker. I think he is for Philly. That's the one we got to make sure he don't kill us because Dallas
you got to make sure you break his arm again.
Yeah. Now we ain't gonna break his arm. But the thing is with Goddard, Dallas also has some weak spots in their middle too. We can be exposed there too. So I think that's where we got to really make sure we lay out the right coverages. I don't know how exactly we're going to do what we do because Dallas can switch up a lot of times in man and they can switch up in zone, but we do play more man-to-man. That's like almost 85% of our coverage and man coverage there that we play. We do like our slots. Jay Lou is going to probably be the one that's going to be holding Goddard as well. So a lot's going to be on Jay Lou because he gets tested the most out of all the corners on the back end. So that's where I'm concerned. I think Goddard can hurt us there because he did hurt us in a couple of plays in the last game, and he is a really good tight end. So, and it changed clearly the way the Eagles had to approach that game against the Niners to say, I don't think the outcome would have been different, but it is a difference when you don't have your top tight end, and he was leading, he was like third in the league in tight end catches or whatever. But then the play,
it changed the approach we took against everybody because we didn't have them. Like, it's not just the 49ers. And even Don said it. Don said, please come out there without a tight end against us. Like, it's and that's to my point. That's why I say I think Goddard, to me, to answer Don's question, that key player that could make a difference, that could hurt us, I think it's him. I'm not even really worried about A.J. Brown and what you call it. I will say this about Bland. Bland does have a tendency to play off. He gives a little too much cushion. I'm a little nervous with that. I hope the whole DQ and them been getting in him and Al Harris and them been getting on him about that because he gives way too much.
How many players are you nervous about?
He tried to jump.
You've already
Goddard is the only one I'm worried about. That's it. I'm just worried about Goddard. And then on our end,
7 players.
I'm just bringing out why. See, the difference between me and y'all, I'm an objective fan. I can point out what's right and wrong and what's fair but I can point out weaknesses and strengths of my team.
The Eagles beat you.
What?
When the Eagles beat you, you said we beat ourselves.
We did. I know. I stand 10 toes down.
So that's not objective.
That is objective. That's not taken away from the Eagles, though. I mean, in a lot of ways, but then again, at the same time, like I said, for this game, the objective parts are that you got to look at the front line. Terrence Steele got beat bad in that game. Graham was killing him. Graham was killing him. No, I'm talking about how we imploded on that 1st and 5 at the 6-yard line. That was a straight. That's implosion from the Cowboys.
Oh no! I know you see y'all beat yourselves. I thought Steele beat himself when.
No. Steele played bad, but that don't take away from Steele playing bad. But see, I could be objective about that. See, SKRAPP don't like to ever admit there's any wrong. I haven't heard Scrap say anything yet about how bad his defense is. Have you ever heard Scrap? Have you talked about how bad your defense has been all year long?
Yes, I said that.
I don't know why I don't remember that. Have you remember anything about that? He said, what did he say about how bad the defense is? Are you concerned about that defense, by the way? You don't have any concerns?
Am I concerned about? I'm concerned every time we're on the field. But once it's game time, all that goes out the window. It's time to play. I'm concerned, but not to the point that I'm going to talk about it every week, because at this point, we're 13 weeks into the season. It is what 14. It is what it is at this point. Like, nobody's coming out.
Yeah,
Brian Dawkins is not coming out the tunnel. Eric Allen, Lito Shepherd, none of them are coming to help us. So at this point, I can't keep talking about it, because then it starts to sound like an excuse. We have what we have, and we're going to play with what we have, and we're going to beat you guys again with what we have. That's just what it. That's just the nuts and bolts of it. Like, I can say, me sitting here saying, hey, our defense, our secondary sucks, our corners suck, and you'll be like, oh man, so basically water is still wet. Tell me something I don't know. Okay, everybody knows. Everybody knows what our defense is. So at this point, like we've been doing, every other week, we got to find a way to win. And I think we will find a way to win this week. Like,
I like that every other week. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Every other week.
No, that's his way of saying they're going to win. They lost last week. They're going to win this week. But they're about to take 2 L's in a row. Jalen Hurts has not lost back-to-back since, I guess, he started, maybe, if I have that stat right.
No, probably
like that, or since 2 years ago.
First year starting. Probably his first year starting.
Yeah, his first year starting or whatever.
That was a rough year. That was a rough year. But
okay, so you guys ready to give us
Dak
a
is
score?
my other player, Don, real fast. Dak is my other player for the Cowboys. No, that's all I want to say.
That's the one you worried
Dak
about?
Is the difference.
Dak?
No. He asks who's the key player. I think Dak. If Dak plays well, we win. No question. Dak
How so? Specifically,
Dak played last game.
How does he need to win? In air, using his legs? How?
Yeah,
what's the game plan?
Just what you said. Just what you did. Commanding the offense like he has been, throwing the ball all over the yard to Ferguson, to Cooks, to Tolbert, and to CD, who had 11 catches for 191 yards. And even Ferguson had 7 and a loss. 7 and 91.
No touchdowns and a loss.
But that's all right. Listen, L. We got the L.
Listen.
What?
Right.
You asked me
the 191 yards is.
So you mean to tell me you wouldn't take? I can't get CD getting another 191 yards against the Eagles tomorrow.
And no touchdowns?
I can't.
No. I'm saying no touchdowns.
So we don't win games only unless CD scores a touchdown. We've won games without CD scoring a touchdown. That don't mean nothing.
Didn't win that one.
We're talking
that
about
opens up
Dallas.
Touchdowns for everybody else. He don't need to score a touchdown to win. But I'm saying is that
does that help or does it not help?
Of course, any touchdown.
If your number one receiver, your number one receiver scoring is very important to your overall offense. Would you say that or no? Or do you want him? Tyreek is going for 2,000 yards.
Okay,
not CD. So
in the playoffs last year, did Ayuk and Debo score a touchdown when y'all beat us in the playoffs? They didn't score. In fact, I don't even know if did Debo even line up. I don't even know if he even played. So they was completely non-existent. That's my point. That's my point. So all I'm saying is that CD does not need to score 8 touchdowns.
No, that's
but
not
he can still ball and win. We could still. You asked me who's pivotal. Dak has to throw, run.
Let me tell you why it's not your point. Let me tell you why it shouldn't be your point. Ayuk and Debo, whether they scored or not, it was in a victory. CeeDee Lamb having almost 200 yards was in a loss with no touchdowns. So it's not apples to apples. It's apples to oranges. It's wins to losses.
No, but you're moving the narrative now. You're changing it.
No, I'm not.
What we're saying is that you asked what's pivotal in terms of what does Dak need to do to win, right? I said Dak needs to throw, it needs to run, it needs a leg, and needs to use his leg. He needs to throw the ball all over the yard, still just like he did in the last game. Because again, if Dak balls like he balled in the last game, I believe the outcome will not be the same because Dallas is not I don't expect them to implode like they did in the last final seconds of that game. And that's just what Dallas did. The Eagles did nothing.
They're not the
to
same
stop Dallas in that game. In fact, they brought us down the field with the penalties.
They're not the same Cowboys that they were prior to playing us. Would you agree?
Definitely not the same Cowboys.
Did you play the Eagles after you played us?
Yeah, we look totally different.
So perhaps you are the same. Same result.
They're the same.
You caught an L.
You're the same.
Yeah, I mean, we caught it. We caught an L, but that still don't mean anything. I mean, so what? We can't lose a game after we lost to the 49ers and still not be a better team than what we were when we played the 49ers. I mean, you You see how y'all love to narrow the margin on the Cowboys?
You know what?
But then everybody else gets all this extra
but you're
grace.
really
So
not objective. You're not
I
objective.
got something to say.
What's
I
up?
got something to say with this. You know what this looks like? This looks a lot like last year, okay? When we were doing this and Jalen was doing all this and all the Eagle fans were hype about him and we were saying, he's the MVP candidate. What were y'all saying? Look at your schedule. Look who you play. Now it's this year. Y'all got the cupcake schedule.
We got a whack schedule. Yeah, we do.
And Dak is pretty much beating up on, tomato cans. And now y'all saying, oh, he's the MVP
I agree
candidate.
with that.
Right. So now that y'all got the easy schedule and y'all got some, I don't know why y'all got this much optimism as for Dak being the MVP and y'all going to do this and do that.
I'm not on the MVP train. So that's the rest of the Cowboys, the national media. For me, I ain't on the MVP train. I don't even care about the MVP. If Dak don't even win the MVP, which he's not, because they're not going to give a Dallas Cowboy quarterback the MVP. No Dallas Cowboy quarterback has ever won.
We got to go back. We got to go back to the. I just dropped the flag. We need to go back a couple weeks to when you was just talking to Don about MVP.
No,
Donald,
have I not told you, D, that I don't care about Dak winning MVP? I think his stats are great. Is he the best playing quarterback right now? He is.
You have said it that you don't care, but in the next breath, you make a case why he should be the MVP.
You got to go back. Y'all got to go back to the tape. I don't
matter. 20 you would do that.
He's playing. Dak is playing really good football, and right now he's statistically, along with Purdy, because they running neck and neck on first and second in all the major statistical categories. But at the end of the day, that MVP thing don't mean nothing to us or Dak. Dak could win MVP, but they're not going to give it to him. They're not, because number one,
he don't deserve it.
It's too many variables in what they measure an MVP by. You're going to either have the guy that's going to have the best record in the league, right? He's got to have the wins. And no matter what the NFL say about the MVP, it's the same way they measure college teams. It's style points. It's who they beat. It's how they played.
Well,
that's what it's going to come down.
They have 7 blowout wins, right? They have 7. They've blown out 7 teams.
Who, Dallas?
All tomato cans.
Yeah, we have. And y'all y'all haven't beat tomato can teams either? I'm just wanting to know, because like the 49ers, y'all beat the Steelers. You beat the Rams. Why are we
talking about the 49ers?
No, but I'm saying y'all.
This show is dedicated to you guys.
I agree with Dallas. beating softer team. We got to play who's on our schedule. We didn't make the schedule.
Right,
we didn't have them teams. You didn't even know if they were going to be this bad coming into the season. But I'm saying, granted, as it may, I agree. We have not played tough competition.
By the way, the Steelers have a winning record. They have a winning record.
Oh, D, don't you start. D, don't.
Do.
You know what? You see what I'm saying? You know what? Okay.
Hey, Rod, y'all did play winning teams, but you know what happened when y'all play teams with winning records.
Yeah, we 0-2 against teams with winning records. Yeah, no, you're right. It's an L. I'm just
making sure you know.
LL Cool J.
So
I know that. I can say that. But don't act like y'all didn't beat cupcake teams either, huh? What'd you say?
Do the Steelers currently have a winning record? I'm just
asking.
Don't
tell me that. D, I'm not gonna let you sit here and do that. Are you gonna tell me?
They have a winning record. They have a winning record.
Can you scrap? You gonna let them get away with that? Scrap. I can't.
Get away with what?
Sit here and let them get away with it.
What am I getting away with? They have a winning record.
He's not making this
up.
So
you mean to tell me this? So because they have a winning record, are you telling me that was a legit win? That was a formidable win against a formidable opponent. The Steelers were a formidable opponent.
Yeah, we played them. If you remember, in week 1 when we played the Steelers, when we traveled to play the Steelers, there were more than half the people.
That's going to make a difference.
No.
Do you remember the score of that game?
It does make a difference because it's a West Coast team going to play at 1:00. It makes a difference. That makes a difference. The fact is that most analysts had us losing the game.
Okay, let me tell you something, D. Are the Steelers as good as their record? Is the Steelers as good as their record shows?
Team is only
now. Oh my God! Is your mic muted?
No.
I mean, it was massive silence right there.
No. So what I'm saying is, are you changing the fact that you say you can only play who's in front of you, and a team is what their record says they are? I'm because but
that's the point I'm trying to make when it comes to Dallas. All I'm saying is that's a legit argument that Dallas has not played anybody significant.
With a winning record. With a
winning record. What I'm saying.
The Steelers
we all know the Steelers are
the Steelers who you referenced currently as we speak have a winning record. Say
Yes,
whatever
they
you
do.
want.
But D,
You can
but
refuse-
honestly speaking,
They have a
are
winning
they?
record.
But D, are they a real legitimate? Are they a good team?
Are
But
they
are they
better
a good
than?
team?
Are they better than the Giants?
Yes, they are better than the Giants.
Exactly. That's one of your victories, right? That's
one
what
of
you
your
blew
victories
out.
too. Did you not beat the Giants this year? You beat the Giants
That
too
was
this
two
year.
of your victories. Actually, that was two of your
I would
victories.
say that was two
right?
of their
'Cause
victories.
You played the Giants.
They're in
twice.
our division. We can't help that we played them
Okay,
twice.
cool.
So y'all played the Cardinals twice. What is that supposed to mean?
Y'all lost
It's
to the
a
Cardinals.
wash.
You can't
lost
use.
to
I
the
told you
Cardinals.
can't use the Cardinals.
You can't bring the Cardinals up.
It
You
doesn't
lost
matter, but that's still a bad
matters.
team. That's
And
still a
you
bad
lost
team, and
to
trust me, if we had to play the Cardinals again, we will beat the Cardinals. We will beat the
I
Cardinals.
don't know.
Well, we lost. That's one bad. You beat the Rams. You beat the Giants. You beat the Cardinals. Okay. Then and now you playing in the tough part of your schedule. I'm talking about the 49ers still, right? But then on the back end, you still got some bad teams you're going to play again. You still got the Cardinals again, and you still got the Rams, and you'll beat those teams. The Ravens is really the only good team
You
left
know
in your
what?
schedule.
You know what, Rod? I would agree with you about if y'all played the Cardinals again, y'all would beat them. But it's not like it was. It's not like it was the game we played against the Jets where we turned the ball over a zillion times. Like y'all didn't really have too many turnovers that game. I think Dak threw one interception maybe.
A critical one. It was in the end zone when he threw that pick. That was in the end zone. But we didn't have our O line. Our O line was decimated. Our O line was decimated in that game. We had three of our starters were out. What? I'm just saying we had 3 starters out. So what's
like
the
an excuse?
Okay, so
smells like one too.
Oh my!
It smells like
so was the Eagle loss to the Jets a bad loss? Could that loss not come back to haunt them in some way?
It was a horrible loss.
Okay,
But
all right.
like
Well, that
I
loss
said,
can
like
come back to
horrible
haunt you. That loss can come back to haunt you. It can.
But like
It
I'm
can.
saying, like I said that I'm just saying when you look at the game, like I say, our game against the Jets, we turned the ball over like every time we had it. So of course you're gonna lose like that. But y'all didn't turn the ball over that much. Like y'all offense was like pretty much the same as it is. Like y'all were moving the ball.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. We were different offense back then than we are now. Way different. The offense you see Dallas playing now was not the same. That offense died out after the 49er blowout. That was it. And we came off the bye, and then we started getting into our rhythm that you see now. We were bad in that game. That offense was trash. Mike McCarthy was just running the ball. We were generic. We were dead last in the league in motion offense at that time when we were playing the Cardinals.
We're game changers.
So it was motion. Motion is what y'all was missing.
Motion, yeah, motion,
right.
yeah. We
I
actually started running some motion in that game.
We're dead.
You
We're
know
dead
what?
last in motion now. We don't move. Everybody line up and go do your job. We don't move. We're last. They mentioned that on the radio yesterday. We're last in motion offense. Like we don't move people around a lot. So, but can we get the score so we can talk about LeBron real quick?
Let's
go ahead. Yeah.
Let's get to the score.
Okay. Right.
We'll start with Rod. What's your score, Rod?
All right. So I got Dallas winning 38. I got Dallas winning 38-28.
38-28?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott, what you got, man?
I got my Birds bouncing back, being victorious down in lowercase d, and I'm gonna go with a score of Dallas. I'm giving them 17 again because that's all we give up. 17. They're gonna get 17 good points, and we're gonna score 31.
What'd you say, D? I'm sorry, Scrap. My apologies. What'd you say, sir?
31-17.
31-17.
Yep.
Okay.
He said they only give up 17 points. And they gave up 40-some points the last 3 weeks.
No, we didn't.
Then y'all give how many points y'all gave up to Buffalo and to San Fran?
San Fran, we didn't give up 42 to San Fran. They took 42. So
we didn't.
Yeah,
give
it's like it's like on the Halloween when you leave a candy bowl on the thing and say, "Hey, take this." They just
take one, please, and someone takes the whole pumpkin and dumps it over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that what happened? Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. So I got the tiebreaker. I'm going with the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to win. Believe this. Cowboys are going to win convincingly. Now, I'm not going to go into my whole spiel, but there is a reason. I'm looking. The key is this. The 0.5 is the key to let me know that, because when you guys played last time you played, what was the final score?
It was,
you remember?
It was 20, 23, 27, 27, 23, something like that.
It was like a 4 or 5 point. It was under a touchdown, right?
Right.
Yeah. Now, I don't know who was favored.
28-23.
We was favored.
You were favored.
The Eagles
okay.
are favored in that game, yeah.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Rightfully so.
Your record was, immaculate. Now, I'm going to go with the Cowboys 35, Eagles 21.
Okay.
I think actually the Cowboys are certainly going to win by more than 3.5 points. I would easily say that it's going to be double digits. Easily. I think that, excuse me, look at Rod's face. He can barely hold. He has that Mona Lisa
I don't listen.
smile.
I don't
barely
trust listen, dog. I don't listen to dog. I don't listen.
He got the Denzel mouth going. But there is a reason. That 3.5.
He's gonna give you a conspiracy behind why it's so. Trust me, he ain't it ain't because he just think Dallas is a better team.
No.
It's not because of that.
I just look at the points. I look at what the people in the desert are trying to get people to sway to. And so the fact that it was 3.5, it was down, then it went to 3.5. 3.5 is a key number. I think that the Cowboys are going to win by at least 10. I have 35-21, but I do think they're going to win by at least 10. And they might set it up where it is, as I mentioned on another show or last week, Dallas will win by a non-teasable number. What that means for the people that don't know, you can tease games. You can add points to it. You can add 6, 7, whatever. So instead of the Eagles being, let's say you teased at 6 points. Instead of the Eagles being 3.5-point favorites, they would be 9.5-point favorites, right? Or in the case of 7, then they would be 10.5-point favorites. So that when I see certain numbers, I look at it and say, okay, Dallas, the way they've played, the way the Eagles have played, if they play to their strengths, if both teams play, Dallas is at home. Ultimately, Dallas gets 3 points, right? Now, if you look at it from a standpoint of home teams, it didn't happen last week. We were actually 3-point favorites on the road. That typically doesn't happen. If they consider the teams to be evenly matched, 3 points goes to the home team. In this case, it's 3.5. So what they want you to believe is that it's a field goal game one way or the other, depending on who you strongly believe is going to win the game. I'm looking at it, and I look at Dallas as winning by double digits, and my score is 35-21. So we're going to revisit this. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be exciting. I do anticipate it being, hopefully Tony Pollard shows up. Hopefully Swift shows up. The running backs, I think, there will need to be a balanced offense on both sides, because even how, great Dak has been playing, how great Jalen Hurts has been playing, these quarterbacks, if they solely drop back and pass, it's going to be a lot of turnovers. There'll be some turnovers involved. They're going to need a balance of the run game to utilize their tight end. So you got Goddard back. Of course, you got Ferguson. So they're going to have to mix it up. Everyone doesn't have a prolific offense like the 49ers, where you can't take anything away. You can't take, all right, we'll stop CMC. Okay, you can't stop Brandon Ayuk. You can't stop Deebo Samuel. You can't stop George Kittle. So with their offenses, they're going to have to maximize their offenses. CeeDee Lamb it's vitally important that CeeDee Lamb scores a touchdown. Having 200 yards and not getting in the end zone will not be enough. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be must-see TV. Now, let's switch over to the NBA. You have anything else before we
No,
go to the NBA?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
Now we have the in-season tournament. And I think this was a good idea by the NBA to, number one, motivate the players to be engaged, not just waiting towards the end or when they think or take games off. They incentivize them by the winning team, the one who wins the in-season championship. Each player gets $500K. Now, listen, of course, the NBA tends to be top heavy, where there are players that are making, not like the NFL, which is really top heavy, but there are players that $500K for, playing is actually really, really good. Everybody on that team gets it. Even the The last man on the bench is going to get an additional $500K if that team wins. Now, my question to you guys is, the teams that are left in it are the Indiana Pacers and the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the Lakers are 4.5-point favorites. Halliburton from the Pacers has been playing out of their mind. They beat Milwaukee to get to the finals. So this was a very interesting game. Now, the Lakers played and just demolished the Pelicans. Zion, listen, the people of New Orleans have to be feeling some type of way. They just extended him, and it's a waste. He is a waste of skill and jumping ability. It's like, where is your passion? Where is, like, he just seems like he's satisfied with just being a Kevin Duckworth type of player. Like, he's not motivated to do anything.
Oh, you can't call him Kevin Duckworth.
Kevin Duckworth was bad, bro.
Listen, he was good, but
he wasn't. Yeah,
at least give him Dominique Wilkins or something, man.
No, not at all.
I don't know about that either.
Now, when you think about it, think about the amount of time he's been injured. Think about the pay. Think about all of the, how exciting. He was supposed to be the next up-and-coming LeBron James. They were trying to act like he was going to be the chosen part two because he could jump out of the gym. He had a similar body frame. Now, obviously, he clearly doesn't keep his body in the peak performance that he could. I mean, from when he went to the pedigree. He went to Duke, blowing his shoe out, jumping in, and his shoes blowing off. Got the signature shoe. He has a Nike deal. He was supposed to be the next.
Is he Nike or Jordan? I think he's Jordan.
He's Jordan.
He's Jordan. Yeah, I think he's Jordan. Yeah.
But so with Zion, like, a lot of his early highlights, he's like dunking on kids that's like my size. Like, they're like 5'2", 5'3". Like, he's
yeah, but listen, I think it's part of the fact that his availability is always in question. And of course, these NBA teams, especially small market teams, their back is against the wall because they're forced to keep a name so that they at least have a draw to their team.
Right.
I mean, because if you think about it, the way as hurt as he's been, it wasn't a good business move to extend him. But they were kind of like, there was talk that he didn't want to be in the small market. He wanted to go to New York. Could you imagine Zion with his relationship situation that got out there? Had he been in the New York market, what would have happened to him? Like, it was great. It worked out best that he stayed in New Orleans, because that whole fiasco with, the different people that were claiming that, he had a baby on the way and he had this other person involved, and the text messages and pictures were leaked. That kind of stuff in the New York market, and you're not performing, it would have been a complete fiasco. I say all that to say is that Zion, this was one of the biggest games. He was playing against LeBron, a storied franchise, in the Lakers. You only put up 13 points and 2 rebounds. I've seen him jump and his head was above the rim, and all you can get is 2 rebounds. That's lack of effort. That's my point. He didn't try. He's not trying, and he's just satisfied. They paid him the big money. He knows that money's guaranteed. He's gonna get it regardless. And even if they say, "Hey, we're tired of you. We're gonna buy you out," it's still generational wealth. And I don't think thus far he's lived up to it. What do you guys say?
I agree with you 100%. Like we say, even with football, your best ability is availability. And more times than not, he's in street clothes if he's even on the bench at all. And it's like, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the city of New Orleans, because he was supposed to be that shot in the arm, to at least boost their franchise into being respectable. Because like you said, he is going to be a big draw for them as far as ticket sales and jersey sales and merchandise and all that type of stuff. But between the lines, he's not producing. Like, when he was playing earlier, he was like a double machine. Mm-hmm. But like you said, like, he just hurt all the time, and it looked like he don't take care of himself. It's like, and then to no fault of his, it's just like when LeBron came up. When it's a great player, a generational player that's already out there, the next guy up, they compare him, right instantly to that guy. Like they compared LeBron to Jordan. Even though he doesn't play like Jordan, he doesn't have Jordan's type of. Even LeBron said, I feel like I'm more of a Magic Johnson than a Jordan. You see what I'm saying? But they're like, no, you're going to be the next Jordan. Here's number 23. You're going to wear it, and you're going to play ball, and you're going to be the next Jordan. And so to go out there and try to be better than him. So now with Zion coming out, he's deemed as the next LeBron. So now he has to go out there and try to perform. But you can't really put that much, pressure on these kids to be something that they're not. Like LeBron is LeBron for a reason. Jordan was Jordan for a reason. Kobe was Kobe for a reason. You see what I'm saying? It's like you get them one name for, they're referred to by one name for a reason because of their work ethic, their dog. I wouldn't say Bron really has a killer mentality, but his work ethic is not, can't be denied. It's like his 30th year in the season, he's still averaging 30 points a game. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like he has longevity. So he deserves all the, the accolades and all the praise that he's getting. And the reason that I think he's hated so much is not really him, it's his fans that act like, he can do no wrong and just, he walks, everything he walks on lights up like Billie Jean when Mike's walking down the street. And
you talking about LeBron or Zion?
I'm talking about LeBron.
LeBron. Okay.
I'm saying why he's looked at as being hated. It's not even him. It's like he's a likable person. It's just his fans. The same way people hate the Eagles. It's not the team. It's us. It's the fans that make y'all hate the Eagles. I mean, I'll say it. So
I hate the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, you do because it's a rivalry thing, but Don hates us because of the fans. But I know that. I mean, listen.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You got to call a spade, but
not
taking away nothing away from the greatness of LeBron or the greatness that Zion can have if he applies himself and actually focuses on what got him to where he is. Because if he was still broke and with the little peasy little afro and then jumping out the gym, if he still had that hunger, it's like once these dudes get off the money, they're like, okay, I got what I wanted. Okay, now I'm just gonna coast. But then other players is like, okay, I got that, but I need the hardware. I need all of this to put me in the same conversations as the Jordans, as the Kobe's, as the LeBrons, as the greats before me. Okay, not the Karl Malones, even though he was great. People want to be mentioned with champions. They want to be, synonymous with champions. Championship players, championship winners. I think that really much, immortalizes you in the world of sports. So I don't unless Zion really gets it together, because he's not winning the championship down in New Orleans. I don't know. No, it's not winning the championship. They're going to be, who they're going to remind me? They're going to remind me of my Sixers a while ago when we were just before the process, when we were just like that scrappy, 6th to 8th place team that a first round exit. Okay, but we had some exciting games during the season. Fans were supporting because we were fun to watch. But when it all comes down to it, you need that little extra oomph to get over the hump and be like a powerhouse franchise. And I don't see them being that. But what I can say is Indiana, I got Indiana winning this.
I do too.
They're too deep. They're too deep. Mm-hmm. Their bench is too deep.
What's up? You got them too, Ron?
I do. Only because the Lakers, they give up 11 offensive rebounds a game. I got statistical reasons for why, and then just the eye test that showed that they're going to win. But I'll let Scrap finish. Mm-hmm.
No, Indiana is the real deal. Yeah. And I want to thank Daryl Morey for rejecting the trade that would have sent Ben Simmons to the Kings and got us Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Harrison Barnes. Good job, because we came out with James Harden, and if we didn't do that, I wouldn't have my beard that I wore last show. So I got a beard out of there. I didn't get,
got a beard out of it, right?
Yeah,
no championship, but I got a beard, right?
I didn't get a potential.
See, God knew you was going to join Brooklyn Beards and Balls, so that's why the whole beard came
Everything happens for a reason. So I didn't get a potentially, greatest robbery trade of all time. That would have been if he would have actually pulled the trigger on there, because Sacramento definitely was going to take Ben Simmons off our hands and give us Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Harrison Barnes to make the because remember Halliburton and Hield wasn't really making no money, so Barnes was the throw-in to make the the salaries but
match up,
so I got the Pacers winning.
Yeah, I got the Pacers winning. So I'll make 3 quick points here. So I got the Pacers winning. The number 1 offense, obviously, in the league. They put up a lot of points. Lakers actually 10th in defense, but we give up 11 offensive rebounds a game. We are one of the worst teams with giving other teams opportunities on the board. So the Lakers struggling with that. Vando coming back, who's arguably our best wing defender, but he's still coming back. He's only played a few games, so he's still not in rhythm and in full, I would say, basketball condition, if you will. Obviously, LeBron is playing like LeBron. We already said it. We already know, arguably, still, in my opinion, he's still the best player right now playing, and that's including Jokic and those guys. Jokic overall is the best player, but right now, LeBron, considering his age and everything else, just flat out is balling more than anybody else, considering all things. But the Lakers, the second thing I would say is, yes, I got the Lakers losing tonight. If we win, it's great, but I don't think we'll win tonight. The second thing is, I think this in tournament is trash. It's whack. I don't understand what the NBA was doing with this. It makes no sense. $500,000 incentivizes nobody, in my opinion. I don't think it incentivized anybody. I think what happened is that they really just, the teams and owners probably spoke with their stars and said, I need you to play. I need you to do this, because at the end of the day, $500,000 is nothing. If Kawhi wants to rest, he's like, yo, guys, I got you. I'll give you all $500,000. We good to go. I don't need to sit here and bust my tail to get my guy who's all the way at the bench, the 12th dude on the bench, to get him $500,000. I'll pay him that out of my pocket, because if I need to rest or low manage, I'll do that. And I think really it made no sense. Now, if that was going to be incentivized, maybe in some way, I don't know how it would have been done, but come up with a formula that would have maybe sort of situated the teams with seeding, right? Maybe you do something with their seeding, their playoff position, some extra games that they get tacked on. They get an extra 3-4 wins tied to their final number, or whatever wins they get an extra whatever win. I don't know. I'm not sure how it would have worked out, but it needed to have something that had something to incentivize, something somehow, some way. Well, how do you incentivize millionaires with $500,000? That is no money.
So the like Don said,
what's the purpose of it?
That guy at the end of the bench that don't make that.
So I understand that, but he's motivated. Not so you're figuring that they're gonna let the star players are playing for the guy at the end of the bench. Is that what they're playing for?
No. The NBA, and this is what it boils down to, honestly. The whole purpose of the in-season tournament is for small market teams to get their little ring, because the championship is pretty much decided by a handful of teams which one is going to make it. Is it going to be the Lakers, the Nuggets, Milwaukee, Boston? Those small market teams don't stand a chance. That's why I was really encouraged, and I'm confident that Indiana is going to win, because I think that this tournament is designed for small market teams to at least say, hey, you may not win the championship, right, but you'll still be able to compete. There has to be buy-in by some of the stars. Obviously, Steph Curry spoke to it. LeBron James spoke to it. But I think ultimately, and some other players, spoke to it. But if we're honest, Lakers shouldn't be there because they cheated the Suns, right? But I think I think you needed to have, initially I thought that Zion, it would be Indiana and the Pelicans, because it would be an all small team like championship, right? But then that wouldn't make sense, because they're like kind of small market teams playing each other. You need a marquee or a larger team like the Lakers or Boston, or one of those teams that is a big market team to play a small market team, because then you draw the interest of both sides. The ones that are accustomed to their team always being perennial playoff teams and finals and, Western and Eastern Conference teams, and the team that's a small market kind of David and Goliath type of situation. And if you think about, based on Halliburton, he said he grew up watching LeBron. LeBron is his, idol, if you will. Yeah. And to get a chance to play him, I think it's going to be really interesting. But I do like Indiana to win, and I think it will be a good game. 3.5 points. They're Lakers are 3.5 point favorites. I do like Indiana to win by 7 or 8 points. I think that they're going to exploit the age of the Lakers. I think the Lakers, they're going to, because LeBron, we'll see if if we have another Anthony Davis sighting, or is this the day that Anthony Davis decides to take off or kind of cool his heels? It all depends.
He played well, so he's on and off. So he played well against the Pelicans, at least in the first half.
Well, the zigzag. This might be the zag.
Yeah, so that might be zag night. So
this might be. He might be on his zagatosis. He might not want to actually perform. He might have, Well,
as long as he plays defense. If he plays defense, then I'll at least be good with that. Because that's really who Anthony Davis is. A lot of people mistaken Davis for being an offensive prowess. He was never an offensive player, even in his days in Kentucky. When he came into the league in New Orleans, it was defense. He just happened to be a skilled guy who can score, can shoot, but that's really not his game. He's not a prolific scorer like that. He's never been that. And I think people mischaracterize his game. He's straight up, he's defense first, always has been. That's his game. So that's really what the Lakers need to get from him tonight. But D'Lo, they're not going to be able to stop Halliburton. No one's going to stop him. We have no defense there. Reeves, they don't play defense. Collectively as a team, we're getting a little better, but we just don't have the defensive firepower. I don't think it's so much the because we got youth. You know what I'm saying? We just don't have the defense as a team yet to really stop them. And I think Jackson Hayes was a waste of a pickup. I think he's trash. He hasn't really done nothing for the Lakers backing up AD. So, yeah, but I agree. I think Pacers win, to your point, D.
Yeah, and I think also the fact that AD is not going to be willing to bang with Turner down low.
Balling. We had him at heel too. I feel you, Scrap. I feel you, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel your anguish, bro. We had them too. For Westbrook, and they didn't want to pull the trigger. We had them, son. It was about to go down. The Lakers.
Who was the person that didn't want it to happen? Because just like
between
LeBron
and
was
Pelinka,
able to
but,
ship him out and get everybody, and he was able to ship out Julius Randle and that whole group, and he was able to ship. So he could have, but he could have shipped them out all the same.
Yeah, he could have, but that's on LeBron. Yeah, I blame LeBron for the whole Westbrook disaster. That was all on LeBron.
That's what I'm getting at.
And losing Frank Vogel as well.
And try to blame Magic Johnson.
I'm saying
Magic Johnson sent out a tweet today, matter of fact. But we'll talk about that right before this. Right before we're done after we're done with this. But so we all so there's no argument. I was actually expecting you to try to.
He was expecting me to come back because I'm an objective fan. I'm objective in my fandom. I've been a Laker fan since '81. I know this team. Trust me, when I'm bragging because I know I'm talking right about my team. But if there's some issues there, I'm gonna just say there's issues.
Let me tell you what Rod also does. Scrap, you haven't known Rod but so long, but I'll tell you what he also does. He will say, "Yeah, I picked Indiana," and then if the Lakers win, yes,
no, that's
welcome to Brooklyn Beach and Ball, Laker Nation. He'll get
what up?
Right. He'll say 7 what ups. What up? He'll do all of that if the Lakers win, but he'll pick against them. That's his kind of.
Honestly, I'm not going to be excited.
Zone.
D, you just said it,
that's
man.
His safety
I don't do that as a comfort zone. I really don't. I'm just very objective. I just feel like if I feel we can win, then I feel we can win, and I'll say we'll win.
CYA.
That's it.
CYA. That's it. No, I promise you I ain't CYA in. I promise you.
Let me tell you what he does. He'll do that, and I'll say this. He'll do that if he was not excited about it. The next game, like if let's say he picks Indiana and the Lakers win, your next show you should just be like, yeah, Lakers pulled it off. You wouldn't be hype. You get hype about the Lakers, a team that you
only in the playoffs, D. Only in the playoffs.
You got hyped about the Cowboys. You got hyped about the Cowboys about a game that you picked against them, and after they won, you were hyped with the Chargers. You picked
the Charger game.
Dallas. You picked Dallas to lose. And then,
I did pick that.
What up, America? Like you can't do it both ways.
No, I will admit, I was hyped because because Dak did not look like Dak. Dak is just a whole big difference between how we look. But I'll admit, yes, I got excited over that game. I will admit, football is different, man. You only got 16 games, 17 games now, so you gotta, you gotta pick and choose. So if you win a game, you get excited. There's 300 games in the NBA, so I'm saying, it's an in-season tournament. Like, come on, in fact, I don't even think they should play tonight. Just go and let Indiana win that. We don't need to prove nothing. You know what I'm saying? I think, but D, thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. I thought that was a good take on the whole reason for this.
Yeah, I think it's designed for small market.
That's true. I never thought about that. That's a good point.
I think it's designed for small market teams to kind of showcase and shine and show that there's, some type of parity and, fairness within the league, and it's not super top heavy with the teams that everybody expects always to be there at the end. So I think it's a little, and 500,000 is not a ton of money when you're talking about millionaires.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's them
enough. It will incentivize them enough to get a trophy. I don't know if they're going to get a ring with it. I don't know. It's the first year, so I think it will keep teams engaged enough, and maybe the teams that know they're going to be in the real playoffs may cool their heels. So it'll give those smaller market teams an opportunity to maybe get deeper and get to the championship and hopefully win it all. But
okay.
Last but not least, Magic Johnson tweeted, as I was waiting so many weeks for him to tweet in other teams that he played. Magic Johnson, I'm telling you, when did Magic Johnson come out and say he had HIV? 92? That was 92.
Yeah, right, man.
Yeah, 92, right. Because they won in the finals 91. That's when they lost to the Bulls. So, yeah, it was 92.
So, Magic Johnson, his post-career, he has been his business acumen is off the charts.
Sorry. You gotta
go?
Yeah, I gotta get my train.
No doubt, Scrap. Always, my brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, man.
I'll see Rod with the sad face on Tuesday.
Our post show is going to be interesting when we talk about the results.
Yes,
but safe travels, brother.
Safe travels, my brother. Be blessed, sir.
All right.
No doubt.
Okay, so I'll say this: his post playing career, as far as business, everything he touches seems to turn to gold. So he got involved with the Dodgers. Of course, he's been involved with recently the Washington Commanders. Of course, he stayed. He was pivotal in the Lakers getting LeBron James when it came time for free agency. So he has the Midas touch. With that being said, Shohei Ohtani, which was playing for the Angels, for those that don't know, he's I think he hit 44 home runs last year, and he also is a pitcher. He suffered. I think he has Tommy John surgery that he had to get, but he was a dominant pitcher and a phenomenal bat. He recently signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for 10 years, $700 million.
Yeah, bro.
And what's so amazing about it is baseball is fully guaranteed. Shohei Ohtani is going to get every dime of that $700 million. So shout outs to him. Of course, Magic Johnson tweeted, thanks for joining the Dodger family. And, so the Dodgers now have Freddie Freeman. They have, what's his name? Of course, Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
The Yankees did their thing, right? We picked up what's his name?
What's that? Soto? Who was it?
Juan Soto, who's 25. His on-base percentage, how many times he's gotten walked. Even last year, he led in walks. So that's going to be beneficial. We have Judge, Juan Soto, and of course, Carlos Stanton. So we're going to have, a really impressive lineup too.
Absolutely.
But, what do you have to say about this mega $700 million contract?
I mean, look, man, I think he's a game changer for sure. just with all of what he does. I mean, he's an amazing talent, the bat with the pitching. But I think when you look at the contract, bro, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like, we saw Mahomes at the 500, right? And it's like, okay, as mind-boggling as that was, it didn't feel like, to me at least, it was that outlandish, right? Because Mahomes did win a Super Bowl, right? He was an MVP at the time. So, I mean, not to say, oh boy, it's not, but, it's like, Mahomes is more accomplished. So 500,000, billion, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, there's contracts that get reconstructed and different things like that, and money gets uploaded or deferred, depending upon how you want to, reconstruct your team or rebuild your team or whatever. I mean, 700, but it's all guaranteed. It ain't like football, bro, right? That $500 million is not guaranteed to Mahomes. So it's like 700 million guaranteed. And I just don't understand how I do
think Mahomes is going to get every dime of that 450 though.
Maybe, it was really 450.
He's going to get more. He's going to get more than that, actually.
Yeah.
I think they're going to restructure.
You think so? They'll restructure the way he can get that. Okay. I mean, and I could see that, and that I could see that. It's still crazy because, again, we know the football money is not guaranteed, all of it.
They'll
like
convert
that,
it to like a bonus or something in order to, extend the actual money out, so they have more money in the here and now, but he'll still get his money. So yeah, he's going to get every dime of that 450.
Right.
The Hunt family would be crazy not to get him that bread.
I mean, it's just amazing though. Like what kind of contracts that the NBA, that the Major League Baseball, MLB are getting, obviously because the networks are paying, right?
Of course.
And it's reasons why the NFL and NBA and Major League Baseball, even soccer for that matter, it's all about the networks, right? That's what it is. And I think Colin Cowherd, man, I'm just going to digress just a little bit right here. Colin Cowherd said something interesting when he talked about, obviously, with the CFB and the teams that ended up in the playoffs in college football. He's like, yo, bro, it's the networks. The networks are going to, I'm not saying that they're saying this is the teams you should pick, but you're not about to give us a blowout. Like, we're not having that. Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we want competitive games. It's like when you look at these networks and how mad they got to be, right? Like maybe Amazon for Thursday Night Football and some of the crappy games. Like, remember last year when those games were so bad last year? I mean, it was like Al Michaels and Kurt Street weren't even talking about the game. Like, they was talking about something totally different. That's how bad the game. Like, you got to be a mad network when you get these, especially towards the end of the year, and you see that these teams are not what they should be, or you get a miserable injury. Like, look at the Jets. Look at all the games that either CBS
all
or
the
Fox
primetime games. Yeah.
all those primetime games. Yo, bro, they are in the, and that money, and the NFL's like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Right. They still get paid. They don't care. You know what I mean? It's sorry, just that's how it turned out. You're mad if you're a network. So these networks are paying these leagues so much money that they can give this guy that much money because he's must-see TV. You know what I'm saying? So $700 million, all guaranteed. The problem is you get into them situations where, maybe the 5th year of that contract, 6th year of that contract, and he's not at that level anymore. That's when it gets a little sticky. But, it's all about what you can get now. And I think that's what happens with a lot of owners and a lot of teams is that they don't think long-term. The days, because there's so much parity in the league now, there's in most sports for that matter, owners are not thinking long-term anymore. There was, when you looked at your team D back in the 80s, right? You looked at the Eddie DeBartolo and these guys that built the 49ers, right? They built a team long-term, right? Tex Schramm with the Cowboys, they built a long-term team in the 70s, and you had, the Rooneys, all of these teams that built franchises that lasted, right? Now, owners, you don't get that. You get the billionaire guy. He's from, wherever he's from, Antarctica. You don't even know the guy, right? You know what I'm saying? No one's even seen the guy or whoever bought the team hardly, right? And then what do they want to do? They want to win now, right? They hire the attractive, sexy coach and the sexy free agent. You look at Denver Broncos right now, what they're trying to do when they got Russell Simmons. You paid him all this money, right?
I mean, Russell, not Russell Simmons.
I said
Russell Simmons.
Wilson. Right. Oh,
now, Russell Simmons,
yeah,
that's a whole other thing. I saw his interview.
Did you see his interview? Yeah.
I mean, listen, Russell Simmons is a very smart man. His name is being thrown all over the place. But what is he? He is under
a
rainfall.
Statue.
He is under
He's under a rainfall.
He is. I'm telling you, he's under a waterfall with a smock on with his knees this high. And say what you can say whatever you want. I'm in Bali at an undisclosed location. Kimura could say whatever she wants. They will never find me, and they're gonna put a knapsack or a bag over your head to get you back out of it because you're not gonna know what this location is. So whoever interviewed him, they're gonna put a potato sack back over his head, and they're gonna ship him back out. They won't know. So that's what they're gonna do. I mean, Russell, he seems so calm because, they said X, Y, Z, but the camera crew doesn't know where they are, and he's like, okay, try to deport me, try to bring me back to the U.S.
Right.
Like, it's not gonna happen. So he's gonna sue. He's gonna send his lawyers from that undisclosed location to go to the States and fight on his behalf and send that settlement back because
that's it.
According to what was said, there was some stock options that were sold. Kimura sold some stock options or turned it over to the government to protect her now husband.
Right.
And what Russell Simmons is saying is that wasn't for her to do. That wasn't her stocks to do. And it totals $800 million. Right. So he seemed so calm. He was just, he's just looking around. I mean, kneecaps he's super high. Them knees were up here. And he's just talking and, the water is coming down, cascading behind him. What does he care? You're not getting him. He's not coming. If you think he's going to show up at U.S. Supreme Court to fight for himself, it's not happening. Not happening whatsoever. He is going to be in a... I don't know how we got on Russ because you brought him up. I didn't want to talk about Russell Simmons.
Right, I made his name. I messed up the name. I was like, Russell West. I said somebody, Russell Simmons, but they signed Russell Simmons. I was like, wait.
Yeah, it should have been Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. But
my God,
I watched that interview and I was like, that sounds like a man who is never going to. They are never going. He's
never going to see the States.
He's never going to be apprehended.
Never.
Yeah, send my shell toes to that cave, and I'll pick him up there. Amazon my shell toes to that. Any tracksuit that you send is going to be sent 5 different locations to get to them.
I'm gonna give you the Buddha address to send it to. Buddha will put it at Buddha's feet, and I'll have my servants come and pick it up.
Right. I'll pick it up there.
Right, that's it.
He might have opened some type of theater or something there, something that he was talking about. He's a little bit. He said, I'll survive. Russell Simmons is good. He said he's cash poor because he created. He I don't know if he bought or created or bought some type of, I don't know if it's a meditation center or something along those lines. Yeah. And I guess he was expecting to have those stocks. And I think it's for the stocks was in Celsius, which was, I believe, purchased by Coca-Cola or something along those lines. But it was supposed to be 800 million. Long story short, 800 million. And allegedly he was robbed of that. And
wow, that's crazy.
There you have
man. That's crazy. Well, I mean, listen, he's doing his thing for sure.
That's our culture section. If you're wondering, we do talk sports and the culture. So.
Oh God, I can't, man. Well, listen, man. Shout out to the old boy with the contract there, my man. He did his thing. He did his thing for sure. And Ohtani is paid. He's paid.
Yeah, so, Ohtani's paid.
Yeah, Ohtani's paid.
One more thing I just want to bring up. Shout outs to, I think his name is Al Heyman. Boxing is supposed to be coming to Amazon. They just signed a super, super lucrative deal with Amazon Prime. So boxing is getting a shot in the arm. So boxing is now going to be on Amazon, which, listen, Amazon's smart to tap into underutilized resources like boxing. There's people now that there are some young up and coming boxers that are big draws. Why not have it on Amazon Prime or have
Yeah,
some
makes
type
sense.
of pay-per-view, quote unquote, on Amazon or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Amazon is smart for
that's
that.
going to be
Yeah, they're doing
exciting.
their
They're
thing.
smart. They're smart for that. They had their first Black Friday game, and
Yeah.
so they're trying to expand more and more into the sports genre. But
Correct.
in any case, man, fantastic show.
Yes, indeed, sir.
Once again, Scrap, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Scrap, man. We
fantastic
appreciate
show.
you, bro.
Like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We appreciate all of the engagement that we are receiving, all of the comments. Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production. Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music. Rod, once again, thanks for joining, man.
My brother.
Our next show, somebody's head is going to be hanging low. Somebody's going to have air in their lungs. Hopefully, we'll see what happens between the Cowboys and the Eagles, man. But man, it's gonna be. You don't want to miss it, man.
Get your popcorn, D. Get your popcorn.
Our post-game show after we'll have it either Monday or Tuesday. We'll see what happens. We'll probably have it Tuesday because there's 2 Monday night games, which is really weird this late in the season. 2 Monday night games back to back. I mean, I know Miami's playing.
Some games. That's why. Yeah, Miami's playing and
somebody else, whatever. Bottom feeders, as far as I'm concerned.
Packers and Giants. So half and half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, 2 halves make a whole. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So we'll see what happens. But until next time, everyone, thanks for joining us. Peace.
Peace.